Monday night was a huge step in the right direction for the Philadelphia Phillies, and it's something they can potentially build on here after a rough start to the month of June. And that guy specifically has brought a little bit of spark maybe to this Phillies team. We're going to get into all of that today on the newest episode of Phillies Digest. But before we do that, I do want to remind you guys, if you have not subscribed to the channel already, to please do so. 35% of our viewers that are watching our videos have subscribed so far. Let's get that top number down, the bottom number up. That is our goal here. Myself and Sean Bernard are uploading at least one video a day here on YouTube to keep you guys informed on all things Phillies. This is the only place to be on YouTube for all things Phillies. I'm recording this after Monday night's win against the Chicago Cubs, Phillies team who lost 9 of 10. It's been a rough, 2 weeks for this Phillies team. Rough baseball. Lost 9 of their last 10. Have lost 5 in a row. Got swept by the Pirates. It's been ugly. It's been real ugly. There's been blown saves mixed in there, and it's been really ugly baseball. The lineup has been abysmal. The bullpen hasn't been great, but I will say they've been holding their own actually for the last few weeks. I don't think they've been anywhere as bad as they were early in the season. The issues have really been the lineup. And I'm not going to lie, it didn't stop tonight. You go down and you look at this box score for the Phillies. They had 16 hits, but wait till I tell you, they only scored 4 runs. And three of them were in the last inning. It's been brutal. Yes, they tied the game in the 11th, so they took a 2-2 lead tonight with, I believe, 12 hits going into extra innings tonight, and 2 runs. You look sort of down the list. Alec Boehm, yes, you see the 2 hits in the box score, but what doesn't show up in the box score is the crucial double play he drove into and the bad outs that he made. Schwarber's struggling right now, but luckily he did get on base 3 times tonight for the Phillies with walks. Not necessarily worried about Kyle Schwarber at all. Trey Turner has been one of probably the best hitter on the Phillies over the last 3 to 4 weeks. Nick Castellanos with a 3-hit night. Box score looks nice, but box score doesn't always tell the story. And I will say what does tell the story about this box score is Otto Kemp. Otto Kemp's first ever game at Citizens Bank Park tonight, obviously called up middle of the Pirates series. I believe that was on Saturday. Yes, Saturday he was called up. Otto Kemp was really tearing it up down in the minors. He had an OPS over 1,000 down in AAA. And with Bryce Harper going on the IL, it seemed like it was, time for Kemp. He had a bit of a rough start, I would say, in Pittsburgh first 2 games, but I thought he had 2 really good at-bats against Paul Skeens Sunday, which was honestly a positive that I took away from his 0-for-3 day with a walk against Skeens. But his first ever game at Citizens Bank Park, 3-hit night with a huge sack bunt in the 11th. He ended his night with 3 hits. He said post-game that this is the first time he's been at Citizens Bank Park. He purposely waited, especially since he got signed, because he wanted this moment to be special. His first ever game at CBP, a 3-hit night. And listen, man, I'm not going to sit here and say Otto Kemp is, the savior for all these problems. But I think it was obvious that a spark was needed. Some new face was needed in the lineup. They just needed to see something. Alec Boehm, whatever. You look at the batting average, it's just ground ball after ground ball. He's grounded into 11 double plays this year. He's throwing tantrums again tonight. Listen, I get it. I have never been as critical about the Alec Boehm tantrums as a lot of people, because I think sometimes I know they're annoying, but sometimes I think it proves that he cares. And, if Bryce Harper threw a tantrum or Schwarber slammed his helmet down after something, I don't think anybody would hate it. I think people hate it from Boehm because, he's not as good of a player as those guys, which, listen, I understand. But tonight was really frustrating on the side of Boehm and JT, and it was just exhausting baseball the first 10 innings of the game. Nick Castellanos ripped an awesome single I believe that was in the 7th inning. Then tries to stretch it into a double and gets absolutely hosed. JT Realmuto finally puts the ball into the outfield, and Bryson Stott pitch hits it, grounds into a double play. It was just straight up exhausting baseball. Luckily, I will say the bullpen held it down for the Phillies tonight. Zack Wheeler obviously dazzles again. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. It was the home run to Kyle Tucker. After that, he just allowed 2 hits. That home run was in the 1st inning. It was the first inning run that Zack Wheeler has given up in 23 starts. But he dazzled. 7 strikeouts, 103 pitches. He's down to a 2.85 ERA on the season. Zack Wheeler is the fastest Philly to ever get to 1,000 strikeouts now. His 7th and final strikeout of the night was his 1,000th as a Philly. But then I really thought the bullpen, for the most part, did their job tonight. Tanner Banks has been such a story for the Phillies. Losing Jose Alvarado was such a hit. And while it's been obvious that they've missed him a lot, Tanner Banks has stepped in some roles this year that I don't think a lot of people thought he was going to step into before this season started. He has a 3.72 ERA this year, which, it might not be great. But then you look at it and you see Matt Strahm has a 3.62. Matt Strahm obviously allowed that home run tonight. Excuse me. He allowed that home run tonight to, I can't remember exactly, Ian Happ? Yes, Ian Happ. Matt Strahm allowed that home run in the 8th inning. But then, I thought guys like Orion Kerkering did a really good job in the 9th. I thought guys like Jordan Romano did a really good job in the 10th. Romano, who got off to a horrible start, looked really, really good for about a month, and then has had a shaky outing here and there over the last few weeks. Came in with a runner inherited on second base in the 10th inning, and never even let the guy get to third base. I thought Jordan Romano had a really, really awesome inning, 7-pitch inning to get out of the 10th. Even Carlos Hernandez coming into the 11th of that game. You expect every team in baseball to be able to get 1 run in extras because that's what baseball teams do. You can never be mad at a reliever for getting out of an extra inning with just 1 run because it's a man on second, no outs. Good baseball teams should be able to get that guy in. It's the matter of not getting to 2. And I thought Carlos Hernandez did a great job at that 13-pitch inning. He only allowed 1 hit. It was a double to Pete Crow Armstrong, but he ended up not scoring. So it was really just a 1-run inning there for him. And then obviously the big 11th inning for the Phillies. Brandon Marsh obviously with the walk-off hit. Brandon Marsh said postgame that it was the first walk-off of his entire baseball career, Pee-wee, high school, college, pros. So obviously it started off with a JT Realmuto single that scored Castellanos to tie it up 3-3. This was probably my favorite part of the entire night. Back-to-back bunt singles from the Phillies give them the base load with no outs by Bryson Stott, who's been struggling, and the new addition Otto Kemp. Stott's been struggling. This offense has been struggling, but I thought it showed a lot out of Rob Thomson tonight to do anything you have to do to win. And he spoke before the game today when I was down there, and it basically, like, what he was saying was, when you go through slumps, it's not, you can't just slug your way out of it. You have to find different ways to win. We've been begging for this team to, just slap some balls and find holes and not try and go for the doubles and triples and homers every time. Like, just get on base and score the runs however you can do it. And Stott laying down that awesome bunt single to third. And then Otto Kemp laying down a bunt right after Stott's. He said it was his first bunt since 2021, and it was a pretty darn good one. And then obviously Brandon Marsh with this walk-off single to center. This is a win that the Phillies can build on. This isn't a win that saves their season, I know. And listen, the season's not done yet. It's June 9th. There's so much baseball to be played. Yes, this is a tough stretch, but with the right pieces at the deadline, this team can still compete. And I think they showed that tonight, that even in a game that they looked dreadful at the plate for 10 innings. They came up in the 11th and went single to win the game and beat that 3-2 deficit that they had going into that inning. But I'm excited to watch Otto Kemp continue to develop because I think, this is such a spark and can be such a spark for the team, especially if he, continues to just get on base and find ways how he did tonight. And especially after that error early in the game, he made an error over at third base, but he battled back, got 3 hits after that, including his first major league hit. This is a guy I think the Phillies can keep up here for a while. And it seems like they want to sort of use him, around the field here and there. It seems like he's going to get some games at first base until Bryce Harper comes back. He can play a little second. They've been playing him once a week in left down in Lehigh Valley. He has some versatility to him. And this is the starting spark. This team needs more. They need more pieces. They need more bats. But I think this is truly the starting spark. This has been the newest episode of Phillies Digest. Phillies are back at it tomorrow at 6:45. Game 2 against the Cubs. Mick Abel making his 3rd career Major League start. My name is Luke Arcaini, and I will see you guys next time.